Well, hello! I'd like to welcome you to my first impressions of the Astura Nova. This is an Italian pen. I know it's not one of the highfalutin pens, although it looks kind of fancy. Uh, but it's one of the lower cost pens. But I think it's a neat little piece of history regardless. So let's take a look at it. It comes in a cardboard sleeve, which I believe is original. There lies the pen. There is my glamour. There is my glamour shot for the title. So let's pull it out and take a look at it. Oh, there's literature. By the way, when I do a first impression of a vintage pen, I have always washed it or cleaned it. I used pen flush and so on, and a lot of water. This one was very clean, so I cleaned it, but it didn't take much. So this is very thin, fragile paper, so I'm being careful. I don't expect to see this opened very often, but I have perhaps the previous owner's writing, Francesca. I can't quite make out what that name is. Augusta. So, for the Italians in the audience, because I know a little Spanish, I can kind of make out what some of this is saying. But there's a lot of this I just cannot make out. What I'll try to do is put a photograph of this in the video description. So I'll have a link to a photograph. So the pen comes with a nifty little tassel, which has survived through time somehow. I think it comes with an absolutely gorgeous finish. That's beautiful. I don't care. This may not be one of your Viscontis or an Omas or one of the high-level Italian pens, but I think it's very attractive. That nice faceted design. I admit the tassel doesn't do much for me. I should also point out, because I discovered this in cleaning it, a button filler. Unscrew the cap. The nib shows you where some of the cost savings happened. Let's turn it here. Try and get a better lighting on that. Holy buckets, this is a hard one to light. So it says Artis Extra Iridium 2. I mean, they went all out and put lots of iridium in it. So I'm pretty sure it's a steel nib. But who cares? We're here to watch a pen write. So impressed by how it looks, I'm going to use the ink Califolio Hurry-Dury. If I butchered that, I'm sorry. I was kind of thinking, what's a brownish ink? So I don't know how brown this is, but whatever. It's what I'm using. Bubbling nicely, which I knew it would because I had already cleaned it. Kind of hard to do this one-handed under the camera. Not doing much bubbling anymore, so we'll call it filled. So far I'm getting this feeling that it's a little bit scratchy. Not bad scratchy, but then as I've studied the nib, and let's see if we can see this. As I studied the nib anyway, I've kind of have the feeling that this pen at some point was dropped, and perhaps the tines were realigned, and maybe the previous person that did that didn't get it quite right. So this is something I may work on in this pen down the road, but for now I think it's writing decently, if not amazing. And especially when you realize it's a steel nib, this is a good illustration that yes, just because it's steel doesn't mean it can't be a flex nib. And I think it does a good job keeping up when it does flex. Wetness and flow. Seems to want to keep up. The smear test. Railroaded a little there, but still pretty darn wet. And reverse writing for those who are into that kind of thing. Ooh, this is bad. It's actually smoother in reverse than it is in its normal. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. And finally, we'll do the Pierre Gustafson test. Okay, definitely wants to railroad there. Okay, so fails the Pierre Gustafson test, which is good because I was getting scared for a while there. It was like every pen passed it, but I think it's a fun writer anyway, even though it fails that particular test. So I'm not going to hold that against it. What can I say? It's an attractive pen. It writes well. It doesn't do rapid writing with a continuous line very well, but in its defense, the feed resaturates again very quickly. So on the whole, I am very pleased with this pen, and kind of neat that I've got that whole manual and box and everything that goes with it. So a fun little pen, definitely a pocket pen with a tassel. I guess you could also take the tassel off and hang it from a chain around your neck, but that's just not my way of carrying a pen. Normally I would show you how it works in the pocket, but it's not that kind of pen. It doesn't have a clip, so I won't show you that. So on the whole, pleased. Nice flex writing, very attractive. Could be a little smoother. Nib could use a little work. And definitely the nib doesn't keep up with rapid writing that's continuous line. So, want to thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.